Okay, so welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive.
Always a pleasure.
Today, we're going deeper into the sales cycle,
Mm-hmm.
which I know can sound kind of
Dry.
dry, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, who wants to spend their time, thinking about the sales cycle? But
Yeah, but I think we found some sources that actually make it really interesting.
yeah,
And they use this metaphor of a hiker going through all these different phases.
like on a journey.
On a journey. Yeah, exactly.
And that kind of, really helps break
Oh,
down
yeah.
each of the stages. And we thought that was just such a really great way to, really
Yeah, and
visualize it.
I think it makes it more human, too.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's not just about closing the deal. It's like an actual journey that you go on together.
Exactly. And it's
The salesperson and the customer.
It's more about building a connection. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the hope is to create a really positive experience
Yeah.
for the customer. So, let's start right at the very beginning of this journey like we're talking about.
Okay.
Our hiker's just starting out right. They're stepping onto this forest trail and everything's new.
Mm-hmm.
What do they see? What are they doing?
Yeah, they're taking it all in. They're curious, they're
Yeah.
looking around.
Yeah.
This is the awareness stage.
Okay.
So this is where a potential customer first encounters
The brand.
your brand, your
What-
product, your
what-
service.
This is it. This is like the first impression.
Exactly. Yeah.
So how does that happen?
Well, it could be through an ad,
Yeah.
right?
Sure.
It could be through a recommendation from a friend,
Okay.
word of mouth.
Yeah.
Maybe they just stumble across your website.
Yeah. Just browsing online.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's all about making that initial impression,
Yeah.
like sparking their curiosity.
Right. Have you ever come across a product that you never knew you needed before,
Oh, all the time.
and then suddenly you're like,
Especially on social media, right? You just scroll and you're like, oh, I
my God.
need that.
I didn't know I needed that,
Ah,
but I do.
exactly.
Yeah. So
That's the feeling.
that's the feeling that you want to create in this awareness stage.
Yeah. You want to capture that sense of discovery,
Mm-hmm.
right? And really make sure that your messaging is targeted to the right audience.
Yeah. You don't want to just be throwing things out there.
Oh, yeah.
Just anyone.
Yeah.
You got to make sure it's the right people who are going to be
Exactly.
interested in what you have.
Yeah. It's like when you find a new author you love,
Okay.
right? And suddenly you want to read all their books.
Right.
You want to devour everything they've ever written.
Yeah.
That's kind of the feeling you want to evoke.
Totally. Okay. So let's say you've grabbed their attention.
Okay.
They're aware of you.
Mm-hmm.
Now what?
Mm-hmm.
What happens next on this journey?
All right. So our hiker is continuing along the trail.
Okay.
And at some point, they're going to pull out their map, right? They need to figure out which way to go.
Yeah.
They're going to start evaluating their options.
Okay.
This is the consideration stage.
Okay.
So the customer is doing their research. They're comparing different products.
Sure.
They're looking at prices, features,
Mhm.
benefits,
Hmm?
reviews.
Yeah. Are they checking out the competition?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, they want to make sure they're making the right decision.
Right.
So this is where you, as the expert, can really shine.
Okay. How so?
Well, you can provide them with all the information they need to make an informed decision.
Right.
Think comparison charts,
Okay.
highlighting your unique advantages,
Mhm.
maybe showcasing case studies from similar customers.
Testimonials.
Exactly, testimonials. That's a good one.
Yeah.
It's about offering clear guidance and being that helpful map for them.
So being like a resource, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So it seems like trust is a big thing here.
Oh, huge.
Just like our hiker is trusting their map to
Mhm.
get them where they need to go, the customer needs to trust that you're giving them the right information.
Exactly. They need to feel confident in their decision
Yeah.
and that they're not being misled.
Okay. So let's say our hiker, they've been hiking for a while now.
Mm-hmm.
They've been consulting their map. They're getting a feel for the terrain.
Yeah.
And then they come to a fork in the trail,
Ooh, decisions.
right? Do they go left or do they go right?
I don't know. It's a tough one.
So this is the big moment.
Yeah.
This is the decision stage,
This is it.
right?
This is where the prospect is ready to either buy
Hmm.
or walk away.
So why do you think people hesitate at this stage?
Well, it's human nature, right? Like
Right.
you get to a crossroads. You're like, do I take the familiar path
Yeah.
or do I venture off into the unknown?
Right.
There's always that little bit of uncertainty.
Yeah. And it's kind of we've all been there where you're about to buy something and you're like,
Yeah.
wait a minute, am I making the right choice?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And this is where
Yeah.
building trust is so important.
Okay. So how do you do that?
Well, you can use things like testimonials, like we talked about before,
Mm-hmm.
strong guarantees,
Sure.
and a really seamless purchasing process.
Okay.
Make it as easy as possible for them to buy.
Yeah. Like no hiccups.
Exactly.
No, obstacles or anything like that.
Yeah, you want to remove any friction
Okay.
and just make them feel really good about their decision.
So it's kind of like giving them that extra little nudge to be like,
Yeah, a little reassurance.
yeah, you're making the right call.
You got this?
Yeah. Okay. So our hiker has made their decision.
They're going for it.
They've taken the plunge.
Yeah.
And they finally reached the summit. They can see everything.
The view is amazing.
Right. This is the purchase stage.
This is it.
And it's so much more than just a transaction.
Oh, absolutely. It's like a culmination of everything that led up to this point. It's like that feeling of accomplishment that the hiker feels when they reach their destination. Yeah. They're taking in that breathtaking panorama.
Yeah.
They're feeling proud of themselves.
They're like, yes, I did it.
Exactly.
Yep.
And that's the feeling we want to create for our customers.
Okay. So in a way, like the purchase is kind of like a reward.
Yeah, you could say that.
Yeah.
It's like the reward for all their hard work.
For going through the whole journey.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So, but it's not over yet.
No, the journey continues.
Right. Because what happens after our hiker reaches the summit?
Well, they have to come back down, right?
Eventually, yeah.
Yeah, they make their descent.
Yeah.
And as they're coming down, they're reflecting on the whole experience. They're thinking about, would they do it again?
Right.
Would they recommend it to a friend?
Did they pack enough snacks?
Exactly. Did they bring enough water?
Right.
This is the post-purchase stage.
Okay.
And it's all about customer satisfaction.
Okay. So how do you ensure that the customer is happy with their purchase even after they've bought it?
Well, this is where things like customer support come in.
Go.
Following up with them after the purchase, making sure they have everything they need.
And making sure they know how to use it?
Exactly. Providing them with resources.
Okay.
Maybe even offering loyalty programs to encourage repeat business.
And I feel like a lot of businesses kind of forget about this stage.
Oh, yeah. It's often overlooked.
Yeah. But it's so important.
It is. It's crucial for building long-term relationships with your customers.
Yeah, because you don't want them to just buy from you once and then disappear.
No, you want them to come back for more.
You want them to become loyal fans.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I think we all have experiences where, a company has really impressed us.
Yeah.
After the purchase and made us want to buy from them again.
Totally.
Yeah.
I remember one time I bought something online and the company sent me a handwritten thank you note. It was such a small gesture.
Yeah.
But it made a huge impact on me.
Yeah. It's like they really care.
Exactly. It showed that they valued my business.
Yeah.
And it made me want to buy from them again.
So it's like those little touches.
Yeah, those little things can make a big difference.
They go a long way.
They really do.
Okay, so we've talked about all these different stages of the sales cycle, but we haven't really talked about the role of the salesperson.
Oh, right, the guide.
Yeah, the guide who's kind of leading our hiker along this journey.
Yeah.
So what's their role in all of this?
Well, they're the ones who are providing expertise,
Okay.
answering questions, anticipating needs,
Right.
and making sure the customer feels supported every step of the way.
So they're kind of like a Sherpa almost.
Yeah, you could say that.
Yeah.
They're there to help the customer navigate the terrain.
And reach their destination.
Exactly.
Successfully.
Yeah. And it's important to remember that everyone has a part to play in making this a positive experience.
Right. It's not just on the salesperson.
No, it's a collaborative effort
Yeah.
between the customer and the salesperson
Right.
and everyone in between.
Yeah. Okay, so I think we've covered pretty much
I think so.
the whole sales cycle.
Yeah.
But just to kind of wrap things up,
Yeah.
the main takeaway here is that it's not just about closing a deal.
Right.
It's about understanding this whole journey that the customer is going on.
Yeah. And how you can guide them through it
Right.
in a way that's helpful and supportive.
Yeah, and ultimately leaves them feeling satisfied.
Exactly. And coming back for more.
Right, which is what we all want.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I think that's a good place to leave it.
I think so.
But it makes you think, doesn't it?
It does.
If we see every interaction with a customer as part of this larger journey,
Yeah.
how can we make it
Mm-hmm.
a more rewarding experience for everyone involved?
It's a good question.
Yeah, I think it's something that we should all be thinking about. All right. Well, thanks for joining us for another deep dive.
Always a pleasure.